Vancouver is a city rich in culture and history, but it's also a city grappling with important questions about land ownership and jurisdiction. Recently, I received a parking ticket in Vancouver, issued on land recognized as the unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. This ticket, issued on July 12, 2024, raised a crucial issue. Can the City of Vancouver lawfully enforce parking regulations on lands that have never been formally ceded or surrendered by these Indigenous nations? Being a member of an Indigenous nation, I had to ask the questions and challenge their ability to ticket our people on their own lands and territories. Under Canadian law, municipalities like Vancouver operate under certain legal frameworks, such as the Vancouver Charter. Sections 289 and 317 grant the city ownership and authority to enact regulations. However, these laws must align with broader constitutional protections. In response to my query, the city's legal team referred to sections of the Vancouver Charter asserting their authority to enforce these regulations. They stated that their ownership of the streets, as per Section 289, is valid under provincial law. But my concerns go deeper. The city has publicly acknowledged that it is on unceded land. The Constitution Act of 1982 and the Royal Proclamation of 1763 recognize Indigenous rights and highlight that these lands were never formally ceded. This context raises important questions about the city's authority to enforce regulations on these territories. As Canadian laws and the cities are literally on what can be considered foreign land, as it's not Canadian lands, as the lands were never ceded to the Crown or any other nations. The Constitution Act asserts that Indigenous rights cannot be overridden by municipal laws. This includes the enforcement of parking tickets on unceded lands. The broader legal principle here is that such enforcement must respect Indigenous sovereignty and rights. I've requested the city provide proof of lawful cession or sale of the land in question. Until such proof is provided, the legitimacy of enforcing this parking ticket remains in question. This issue isn't just about a parking ticket. It's about respecting Indigenous rights and ensuring that laws are applied fairly. For more information on this ongoing matter, follow my page, and let's discuss this. I would love to hear all of your input.
So I started a bit of a dispute with the city. And of course, I'm just doing what I usually do. I like to test the waters on things. So I sent in a letter, and notice you don't see it here, but here was his response to my letter, and him justifying his position or the city's position. Okay, here's my response. If you want to pause to read, go ahead. And here's the response from the lawyer coming back. See, they acknowledge that they're on unceded land, but they're not gonna give up ownership. They're like, we still own the land because of our sections, like you'll see it here. And like, okay, so here's my response back. And of course, again, if you want to pause to read. But of course, this is my time to play around with some. I've been in this law thing for like 10 years. I've been studying it, reading it, in depth with it. I have a pretty good grasp on the nature and the situation that we're in as Indigenous people. But of course, they will never, ever want to acknowledge or even comprehend what I'm trying to, spell out for him with my responses. But yeah, do give me some comments. Let me know what y'all think. And, what would your um, thoughts on it be? And like, how would you have approached it? And yeah, it's a small thing. It's a ticket. But at the end of the day, it has a bigger implication and a greater assumption of their authority over the lands and territories that don't belong to them.